making a move down to Albuquerque, is that the best decision that we're going to make here? Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning in to the Living in Albuquerque channel, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys are never missing out on any kind of videos, because I am dropping videos every Tuesday and Thursday talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque has to offer. Now, aside from doing these great videos, I am also a licensed broker in the state of New Mexico. I manage Albuquerque and the surrounding areas, and if you are thinking about moving down here, whether it's 30, 60, or 90 days, even a year, please feel free to reach out to that number on the screen here. That way we can hop on a quick Zoom call, talk about what the next steps are, talk about, your wants and needs, all that stuff right there, all within a quick call. So feel free to reach out. In today's video, I'm gonna be going over 7 key reasons why you probably should reconsider moving down to Albuquerque. But enough of me just kind of hanging around and talking. Let's get right into it. All right, hopping right into it. The high winds here in Albuquerque, as you can tell right now, it's kind of breezy. It's not terrible, but with the high winds, it is going to start to pick up a lot of dust and a lot of pollen and a lot of allergens. So if you suffer from allergies like me, I don't know if you can tell right now, but I'm a little congested. So the winds in the past couple of days have been a little high. It has been raining off and on, so it's helped out with the heat, good thing. But it's also made a lot of things start to rebloom again, right? A lot of plants are starting to shed some of their leaves. All this kind of things are going on that, really make it hard for somebody like me to go through their day-to-day without having to take all their allergy meds. But if that doesn't bother you, if you're out there working in the sun, a nice little cool breeze or nice little wind, not chill, but wind is going to make that experience of being outside gardening or enjoying your backyard or going out for a walk, whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to be a little bit more enjoyable because you're going to be cooler, even throughout the midday like right now. So I got to talk about this point here because I've been getting told a lot that Albuquerque is super chill and laid back, and that's our culture here. Our culture here in Albuquerque is kind of like that chill, laid back vibe, and most of the time we call it the land of the mañana, right? Nothing is super big as like it's on fire.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
Right? We know that the problems are going to be there for tomorrow. So we tend to kind of put it off. I don't know if it's procrastination. It might be, right? It might be a negative thing, but that's kind of our MO here. That's how we kind of tend to handle things. Yes, when it's time to work, it's time to work, but the majority of the time we're chilling out, we're laid back, we're enjoying each other's company, making sure that, hey, we work so hard during the week that when the weekend comes, we just kind of want to relax, take a step back and kind of regroup our thoughts and heal our bodies, those kinds of things, because Albuquerque is a big blue collar community. So everybody is labor intensive, always working hard during the week, sun up to sundown. So, the weekends come, people just kind of want to relax, unwind, have a cold drink outside on their patio, their porch, whatever the case is, whatever your forte is, you can just kind of get that vibe whenever you go outside. All right, we ain't a big city, but we ain't a small city either, right? It's kind of quaint. There's a lot of good aspects here that, just for as small as it is, we are still progressing. We're still expanding more on the outskirts. So you aren't going to find a whole lot of construction happening throughout the city. If there is, they're probably working on the roads or, they're rebuilding or remodeling an older building, but it doesn't tend to last a whole lot. And it usually only lasts about, 2 to 3 months at max. And usually they're working on the freeway, so you'll tend to see more traffic on the freeways from time to time when they're doing construction, but usually they'll do construction at night because it's a smarter decision than working out in the heat. It's a lot cooler at night, so they'll walk through the night, don't bother the flow of traffic, which is super smart in my opinion, because the only times that you'll really experience traffic here is from 7 to 8 in the morning and then 5 to 6 in the evening, unless there's a crash. Those things are kind of out of the control, but the usual norm, those are the hours that you can kind of expect to see a little bit of a lag time when you're traveling through the freeways or, people trying to get home from work, those kinds of things. All right, now in terms of affordability, believe it or not, Albuquerque is still super affordable. Our average home price here is sitting around that $320 area, according to Zillow. Now, when we look at that in retrospect to other cities like Denver, Denver right now is sitting at over 500,000. So you can kind of see the big gap right there of affordability as housing goes. And you can tell why more people are moving down here or leaving those areas, bigger cities like the East and the West Coast. They're selling their houses and buying a house here cash, remodeling it, adding, their own personal touches and finishes to it because they have that extra cushion to be able to do that and still have money to be able to live. The one thing here that really gets to people is the rents, right? Rents, in my opinion, don't make any sense right now to rent a house when you can buy a house if you are able to, because it's one and the same, right? The average rent here is going about, anywhere from $1,400 to $1,600 for a 3-bed, 2-bath. And that all just depends on what side of town you're wanting to live on. So you can tell why we don't have a whole lot more renters here, and we're having a lot more people coming down to buy, and a lot more people that are renters here, that are locals. They're figuring out ways on how they can get approved to go out there and buy their first house because they are tired of making their landlords rich. That's what they tell me. I don't know. I'm not a landlord, so maybe one day I'll find out. All right, guys, number 5, we're getting close to the end. So if you stuck around this long, you know, and you've probably seen that Albuquerque, it lives an active lifestyle. A lot of people who move down here because they want to get outside, right? A lot of people understand that we have 300 plus days of sun, nice weather. It's not crazy. We're not experiencing a whole lot of rainstorms, snowstorms, tornadoes, anything crazy like that. No natural disasters to my knowledge. They say that we have earthquakes from time to time, but you'll never feel it. You'll never know. But outside from that, a majority of the people are getting outside, doing hiking, biking, fishing, walking trails, gardening. And then you have your more traditional sports like golf, baseball, softball, football, things like that people are, still getting out and doing on their free time because they understand that we have a lot of beauty in our state. So if we can enjoy it while we're here, especially because it's a low cost, we might as well do it, right? Now, aside from, working out, right? Because a lot of us like to work out, that kind of thing, right?
How much do you bench? How much do you squat? Nothing. I do not like lifting.
People are living healthier lifestyles as far as eating. There's a lot of farmers markets here. So a lot of those farmers are getting out there marketing themselves, having healthy produce. A lot of, I don't know if if it was a COVID thing that happened, but a lot more people were starting to live healthier lifestyles. My guess is that they didn't want to get sick or be sick. So, the farmers markets, the Trader Joe's, the Sprouts, and the Whole Foods has gained a lot of popularity within the past few years, especially here in our community, because we do have a lot of people who are health conscious, want to live healthier lifestyles, want to get away from all the nasty byproducts of pesticides and all that kinds of things. Okay, in terms of reason why you probably shouldn't move down here, this is something you're going to want to think about because the diverse living situations that we have here are pretty spread out. If you want farmland and you want to still be within the city, you can get that. If you want a little bit of acreage and you don't mind paying a little bit more for it and you want to be 15 minutes away from a Costco and all kinds of different shopping and dining, you can get that. It's just all going to come at a certain price tag, right? Now, when I'm looking at, different people moving down here, I'm starting to notice a trend that people are wanting to add value to homes. And we find a problem with that because the style of homes down here is Adobe style. For a majority of the time, you're going to run into an Adobe style house that is pretty much fixed. There's really nothing much you can do with it. You can knock it down and then rebuild a different house, but stick build for majority of the time is going to be a way that you want to go, especially if you want to tear down walls, customize, those kinds of things. But Adobe homes are great if that's your style. You really like that Southwestern style where the walls are mud. Not hating on it whatsoever. A lot of those homes, they do up really nice, but they are a lot to maintain because you're constantly, mudding the walls. Especially outside from, because it gets eroded from weather and that kind of deal, right? It's a natural thing and it happens, but very well-built homes, I've heard that they're pretty much indestructible. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a running joke that we have down here just because of how well they are built with the mud and the hay and all that stuff. So think about those kinds of things. If, you do want to live in an older community, but you want a newer house, you could possibly find that too, because there's a lot of new developments going on in the North Valley and the South Valley, these older parts of town where people are finding these little pockets and just building custom homes, building townhomes, those kinds of things are starting to be a little bit more popular down here as well. All right, guys, coming to the end of the list, and this one can cause some health issues. The high altitude here in Albuquerque, and of course, as closer to you get to the mountain or more into the mountains you get, the higher you go, it can cause some health concerns with people with asthma, allergies, or you just have trouble breathing. You're going to want to think about, hey, where can I live if I do want to live down there? That can make sense for me too, right? Do I want to live super up in the mountains where it's going to be super hard for me to breathe, especially, you know, if I do want to get outdoors more often, those kinds of things. And with that being said, the higher altitude makes it a lot hotter here, and because it is a lot drier, you are going to experience, you know, your lips start to get a little bit more chapped, your skin is a little bit more dry, your hair is starting to get a little bit more dry. So be conscious about those things. For one, I know that a lot of people carry around their water bottles here. It's a normal thing. I don't know if it's a local thing or people who live in you know, close to the mountains kind of thing, or higher altitudes, but everywhere you go, you're going to see water bottles, hydro flask. We carry around the Stanley cups, and I don't know if it's a fashion statement, but we put stickers all over them. I don't know. I think it's super cool, super fun, because it shows off your personality versus just having a plain cup. Right, my kiddos have their own, my parents have their own. Everybody that we're around is always carrying water bottles, just because of the dryness and the high heat. That mixture here from time to time isn't the best. And in the wintertime, it's probably going to be the same for you, because we get very little snow here. The dry, cold air plus the sun just creates a concoction of you know, dryness, making you super thirsty. Keep that in mind. If, you know, you're having trouble breathing or you got health concerns, you're really going to want to dive deep into this one and get with your doctors to see if making the move is going to make sense for you guys. All right, so I touched on a couple cool things, you know, some good, some bad, whatever the case is here. You know, that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line, and I'd love to hop on a call with you to kind of deep dive into, you know, different reasons on why you should probably move here as well, because we do have a lot of good stuff to offer as well, right? The things that I said on this list are negative by all means. They're just things that I tend to see as a local that could potentially be an issue for you guys, right? And I want to make sure that I bring that to you, right? Because this is an informative channel. It is a channel of me talking about what Albuquerque has to offer, like I said at the beginning. So if that's something you're interested in, or you guys just want to continue to watch these great videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom, because again, I am dropping videos every Tuesday and Thursday, just talking about all this good stuff here. But I'm gonna head inside, get some breakfast, fill up my mason jar here with water, right? Because we old school vibe in here. Let me take a drink. Anyways, guys, we'll see you later. Peace. Did you sneeze?
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway, darkness falls and we all pray.